Las Vegas to Tampa, Florida, and we're looking here at a scary image sent in by one of the passengers on that Frontier Airlines flight, again, bound for Tampa, Florida. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday to you here on the WFLA Facebook page. Here on WFLA Now, I'm News Channel 8's JB Buno, and we're following a story out of really Las Vegas. Las Vegas, a flight taking off this morning. It was Frontier Flight 260 from Las Vegas to Tampa, Florida. Had to turn around and land back in Las Vegas due to what they called an engine malfunction. But from this picture that we're getting in here from a passenger sent on Twitter that was tweeted out, we're getting a little bit more as to what this engine malfunction looked like for the 166 people on board Frontier Flight 260, again bound for Tampa, Florida. So if we're looking here at this image, you can see that the engine, I guess the exterior part of the engine was ripped to shreds here. I mean, that's what it looks like. It's hard to say for certain. I'm not an aeronautical expert by any means, but it looks like the structural integrity of this engine, which is, it's hard to say whether or not it was severe damage, if it was moderate damage, if it was minor damage. But again, you're looking at images here that was sent in from a viewer, and it was sent in to a television reporter, Dan Ponce, I believe. If I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He was the one who allowed us to show this tweet, I believe, from his aunt. And you see here, so if you were on the right side of the aircraft and you looked out your window, this is what you saw shortly after takeoff. It was early this morning, around 7 a.m. Now, what we're hearing is that, again, according to this woman who snapped this photo, for their troubles, it was a breakfast voucher that they received. I think, yeah, the plane was able to turn around, and she said that all passengers were given a breakfast voucher by Frontier Airlines. I'm really curious to see if you guys feel like that was enough compensation. So what you're going to see pop up on your device is an interactive poll. Let us know what you think. But if you're just joining us here on WFLA Now, here on Facebook, we're talking about this image sent in by a woman who was on Frontier Flight 260 bound for Tampa, Florida. Again, the flight took off from Las Vegas sometime this morning around 7 o'clock, but they had to turn back around and land back at McCarran International Airport Friday morning because of that engine malfunction. But I mean, it's not one of those engine malfunctions that was naked to the eye that you can't just see on your own. I mean, passengers saw this happen on their flight, and this is the image. This is what they saw when they looked out their window. Probably really imagine how frightening that must have been for the people on board. I don't have access to the comments here, everybody. For some reason, the Facebook platform that shows comments is not working at the moment, but I'll try to bring that up here on my phone. I think on my phone it'll work. But I'll read what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the statement here released by Frontier Airlines. During takeoff on Frontier Flight 260 from Las Vegas to Tampa this morning, a section of the engine cover called a cowling came loose and separated from the aircraft. Our pilots followed procedure and immediately returned to the airport. The engine continued to operate normally, and the aircraft, an Airbus 320, landed safely. Safety is our top priority at Frontier Airlines, and we'd like to acknowledge the professionalism of our pilots and flight attendants. We are working to get our passengers to their destinations as quickly as possible, end quote. So it doesn't appear, at least from what we're hearing from Frontier, that the damage to the engine cover caused any problems to the engine itself. So it continued to operate normally. It was really just the cover, what they call a cowling. So, and I'm going to read here. Yeah, everybody's okay. Everybody in the comment section, I'm sorry, I probably should have mentioned that a little bit earlier. Everyone's okay. The flight took off and landed safely. It would have been something, I think, a little bit more urgent this morning that we would have been reporting on had there been any injuries or had the plane crashed in any shape or form. But no, the plane took off from Las Vegas, and it had to turn around sometime around 7 a.m. and land back at McCarran International, again in Las Vegas. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually, you guys are going to see it pop up on your screen. I just want to be really correct here. I'm going to say plane engine cover falls apart. How about that? I think that's a little bit more, there we go, a little bit more accurate, right? Again, if you're just joining us here on the WFLA Facebook page on WFLA Now, I'm JB Buno. We're asking that interactive poll question if you feel like a breakfast voucher is enough. We don't know if that was maybe the initial handout from the airline, just to, you know, to say sorry for your trouble, sorry that we couldn't get you to your destination on time. But what we're hearing is that was at least what was offered to this one passenger, the passenger who sent in the photo that you're looking at here on your screen. People talking about which airline it was. It was Frontier. Frontier is one of the many airlines that fly out of Tampa, Florida, and Las Vegas, and other cities across the country. This was flight 260 from Las Vegas to Tampa this morning, and really, if we look at the images here in full screen, you can really get even more an idea as to how much the engine, the engine cover, what's called a cowling, according to the statement, fell apart here. And look, whoa, my aunt snapped this picture of a shredded engine on Frontier Flight 260 from Vegas, and then she, mentions that it was a breakfast voucher that was given out to her and other passengers. Yeah, look at that. And you can see the background. That terrain is that's the terrain that you would find in Nevada. And everything that we're hearing, the plane didn't really get too far out of Las Vegas before it had to turn around. That this problem occurred very soon after takeoff, or relatively soon after takeoff, when you talk about the longevity of the flight itself. Again, I'll read the statement here for you, everybody. During takeoff on Frontier Flight 260 from Las Vegas to Tampa this morning, a section of an engine cover called a cowling came loose and separated from the aircraft. Our pilots followed procedure and immediately returned to the airport. The engine continued to operate normally, and the aircraft, an Airbus 320, landed safely. Safety is our top priority at Frontier Airlines, and we would like to acknowledge the professionalism of our pilots and flight attendants. We are working to get our passengers to their destinations as quickly as possible. So, right for them to commend the effort of the pilots and the rest of the staff there on that Frontier flight. The pilots doing a good job. It seems as if they were able to diagnose the problem pretty quickly and get the plane back to Las Vegas safely, landing safely. Again, the engine itself continued to operate normally according to the statement. But I mean, for the pilots to handle this in the way that they did, without any problem, without any injury, it's great to see. It's good to see that it's a problem that the only thing that people are really complaining about is that they didn't get to their destinations on time, and maybe that they're a little bit upset that they were offered a breakfast voucher. But in situations like this, when you see this image, it could be so much more worse. It could be a major malfunction of the aircraft itself, and if the engine goes out, I'm not an expert. I believe that if one engine goes out, another engine can support the aircraft to get it safely returned to the airport. But I'd love to hear if there's a pilot here in the comments that can talk about the Airbus 320. But I believe I've actually been to Airbus, been to one of their manufacturing facilities. I've talked with pilot engineers, or aircraft engineers rather, and I am not an expert, but I think that is what I remember hearing. The interactive poll question that we've been asking: if this happened on your flight, would a breakfast voucher be enough? And you saw there on your screen that the woman who snapped this photo, the photo that you're seeing, said to, I believe it would be her nephew, a reporter, Dan Ponce, who tweeted out this photo on behalf of his aunt, said that all the passengers on the flight got a breakfast voucher, a free breakfast voucher. And I can just tell you that, well, you know, if you were on that flight and you saw this and you had this traumatic experience of seeing an engine cover blown off like this or ripped up like this, would a breakfast voucher be enough to calm your nerves? I'm curious to know. Hey.
I sent you an email with the air traffic control sound.
Oh, we have the air traffic control sound. Okay, cool. That's okay. Yeah. Let's see if we can bring that up. That was News Director Ryan Manow, just giving me a little bit of a heads up, which is fantastic. So I think we have air traffic control sound that I'm going to try to play for you here on WFLA Now on this platform. Here it is. Okay, so it is a mandatory courtesy that we're going to have to stay here. Okay, so it is liveatc.net. I'll say that as many times as I have to make sure that the courtesy is communicated to everybody out there that that's where we're getting this from. Let's see if I can play this out for you here. I won't be able to hear it unless I plug in an IFB. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Because I do not have an IFB plugged in at the moment. Let's see here. Okay. Now I do. So we're going to try to play this audio for you here, everybody, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it. Again, this is, I think, air traffic control talking about. Okay, I don't have the audio. Let's see. It's playing. It says it's playing. Hold on. I don't have audio. Not sure why. Again, everybody, if you're just joining us, I'm JB Buno, and we're looking at images from or at least one image that was sent in from a flight from Las Vegas, Nevada to Tampa that didn't get very far, didn't really leave the state of Nevada airspace or really the area around it. It didn't get very far because of this problem here, the cowling, according to the statement from Frontier Airlines, blowing off or coming apart. So really, again, a scary sight. But everybody on board is okay. They were able to turn around, land safely, and I think they handed out a breakfast voucher to everybody, unless that information is dated, unless Frontier was nice enough to offer something more. I don't know. That's what we're hearing, that's what the passengers on the flight got for their trouble. I'm trying to play for you some air traffic control sound that we have here from liveatc.net. Let's see if I can play this out for you, everybody. Oh, this might work. Hold on. Stand by. Unless there's audio that comes in later on. Nope, I don't hear anything. So here's an audio file that doesn't seem to have any audio on it. Again, everybody, if you're just joining us, I'm trying to do this on the fly. Trying to play some of the audio from air traffic control. But the file that was sent my way doesn't seem to have anything playing back, unfortunately. Unless... Aha. No, wait. I think I figured it out.
Yeah, good day.
Oh, wait.
One runway pop.
I think... Okay, so here we have it, guys. I think we have it now. Again, if you're just joining us, this is air traffic control sound, courtesy of liveatc.net. We want to give them a shout out for sharing this with us. This is sound from air traffic control of what happened on this flight from Las Vegas to Tampa.
maintain flight level 1.
Okay, here it is. Or I thought we had it.
FedEx 627, climb maintain flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190, FedEx 627.
Bearings 188, contact approach on 125.6.
25.6, Spirit 188, good day.
Number 1 runway Papa, turn left direct, trailer, flight plan route.
Direct trailer, flight plan route, 501, runway Papa.
Okay, so what's happening is I think this is real-time air traffic control. So all of these gaps are the actual gaps in communication. That's why when I was playing it out, the first 30 seconds or so was silent, was because no one was talking at that time. This is a 38-minute sound file that was just sent to us raw. So.
Well, salt.
I know 1528, 3.4 for flight 190.
1528, Los Angeles departure, radar contact. South 1915, contact approach on 125.6, good day.
Circle 1256, South 1915, good day.
To everybody asking again in the comments, nobody was hurt. Just a scary incident because the cover of the engine came off, and it's if you had a window seat or you were looking out one of the windows on the right side of the aircraft, this is what you saw. And
Time code, you gotta scrub ahead.
oh, okay, so there's a time code here.
Read the email, 2246.
Aha, 2246. Okay. Okay, here, I believe this is where the sound comes in, according to my news director here. Hold on, everybody.
Just climb into 190, unrestricted Delta 1675, thanks.
1675, affirmative, unrestricted, flight level 190.
Okay, thanks.
Southwest 997, contact LA Center 134.65.
3465, South 997.
I have the verbatim here for everybody. If it's hard to make out what Frontier Flight 260 was communicating air traffic control, I'll be able to kind of read it out for you here, but we're waiting for...
Delta 1675, turn left direct Cowboy.
Left turn direct Cowboy, Delta 1675.
Let's see here, everybody. This is around the time, again, we're playing out the audio file from air traffic control, again, courtesy of liveatc.net. And this was around the time of the transmission where Frontier Flight 260 radioed back in and let everybody know back at air traffic control that something happened.
Card 998, Henderson, ground runway 17 right, taxi via hotel. Card 998, you're just going to take the ramp all the way down to the north end. You'll intercept taxiway hotel at north end. Check.
1675, thanks.
1675, affirmative, 0.
Climb chain flow 190, Delta 1675, that's what we were given. Uh, 1675, thanks.
1675, affirmative, unrestricted, flight level 190.
Okay, thanks.
134.65.
3465, South 997.
All right, I'm going to go to the exact time code here that they said. It should be right here, everybody, is when the communication takes place. If this email, if the information that's being given to me is accurate. And I'll read the verbatim here, everybody, in just a second if this doesn't work. Okay, I don't know exactly where the audio is, but Frontier, let's see here. Frontier 260's pilot saying in the transcription, radioing in, departure Frontier 260, I think we've got something wrong with one of our engines. They are saying there's something on fire or something out there. And then KLAS, departure, radioing back, Frontier Flight 260, someone at the airport just said they told us no, that your second engine cowling appears open or something like that. And then the Frontier 260 pilot responding, okay, we need to declare an emergency back to the airport. I thought that we had the sound of that actually happening, but it's somewhere on this 40-minute file. And people asking, are they okay? I've said it a bunch of times here. I'll say it again. Yes, everyone's okay. Everyone is doing all right. The plane was able to turn around, return to McCarran International in Las Vegas, Nevada, and they were able to make it back safely. Everyone landed safe and sound. 166 people, including pilots, the crew, everybody on board. 166 people. They were all safe. Just a little bit, maybe for some of the passengers, just a little bit freaked out. If you're scared of flying, there are a lot of people out there that are scared of flying, and if you were sitting on the right side of the aircraft, this was definitely something that was chilling. I would imagine, just again, seeing these images that you're looking out the window and seeing that the cowling, which is, again, according to the Frontier statement, the cowling being really ripped off, just coming off the engine. The engine itself was able to continue operating without problem, but it just looks scary. And it was enough that they had to declare an emergency, the pilots did, to air traffic control. I'm going to read the exact words here from the Frontier 260 pilot. He said, I think we've got something wrong with one of our engines. They are saying there is something on fire or something out there. Yeah, again, everybody in the comments, you know what I'll try to do is I'll just try to say this every 60 seconds or so that if people are just turning on their phones and just joining us here on Facebook, that they're not freaked out by this. If they have anybody who they know was traveling between Las Vegas and Tampa, and we don't want anyone's hearts to sink like that. Again, they are safe. Everybody, the 150 plus, 166 people are safe after this scary incident in the sky when the cowling, the cover of the plane, came apart and forced an emergency turnaround for the flight to return back to McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas. Now we're hearing, and you're seeing on your screen too, we keep replaying the description on the tweet, that being that the woman on board who shot this photo said that all the passengers got a free breakfast voucher, and that raised some eyebrows, I think, in the comments section. So we asked you in a poll question, if this happened on your flight, would a free breakfast voucher be enough to make you happy? And as the airline apologizes to the passengers for A, not getting there on time, not getting to your destination on time, and B, also just being part of a really scary experience. I mean, people are traveling for the holidays. People are thinking that they're going to be seeing their families. And maybe there are people from Las Vegas who are coming into Tampa to spend the weekend. It's a Friday. They're here to see some family, or I believe Hanukkah is coming up. I think it's Sunday night. So that there's Christmas still might be 3 or plus weeks away, but the Hanukkah holiday begins on Sunday night. So imagine being on the flight thinking that you're gonna see family, and then you look out your window and you see this. I would imagine it'd be frightening. I'm speaking for myself. I'd be spooked. I think you'd be spooked too if you even have a remote fear of flying, but even if you didn't, I think that a lot of people would probably say, seeing this outside of their window happening to them, to their flight. There are thousands of flights in this country that fly every single day. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, I'm on that flight. But again, if you're just joining us, and I told you, I promised I would repeat this, everyone's okay. 166 people were able to land safely at McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas, Nevada. That was actually where they took off from early this morning, bound for Tampa, but they didn't get far. They didn't get anywhere close to the state of Florida. They had to turn around quickly after a problem with the right engine of the Airbus 320 they were flying in, and that's the damage that you're seeing here in a picture from Twitter that we were able to secure permission to show you here, and really just a traumatic experience, I would imagine, for anybody who was on this flight that thought that this was something severe. I would imagine that the people on board Frontier was communicating with the airline passengers, letting them know that that the engine was still functioning. I would be very curious to know what the people on board this plane heard over the intercom, over speaker, during the flight. But let's publish those poll results. We asked, if this happened on your flight, would you feel that a breakfast voucher was enough? And 96% of you said no. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm JB Buno. We're in the Tampa News Center on WFLA Now here in Tampa, Florida. This flight was supposed to land right here, not far from our station at TIA. It did not. It actually had to turn around 7 o'clock this morning in Las Vegas, Nevada, where it took off from because of this engine malfunction. Now, the engine itself didn't malfunction. It was more the cover, the cowling, as they call it, that started to fall apart during takeoff or right after takeoff, and that's what you're seeing here, a woman snapping these images. Yeah, I you know what, I fly to see some family in a couple weeks, and I'll tell you that this is just, I mean, I'm hoping that this will be a distant thought by then, but just for me, it would be, I think I'd be a little spooked if I was flying tonight, or if I was flying tomorrow, if my trip to see some family happened to be this weekend. Just because this image is a little startling. It is a little startling. Anytime that you hear about aircraft rarely have any problems. I think that the statistic is like 99.991% or something crazy like that of flights go off without a hitch. Take off and land as they're supposed to. It's just the 0.001, whatever that sliver of cases like this one that make people who are scared of flying, I'm not really that scared of flying, but people who are scared of flying, this is what makes them just a little bit more nervous, is because you hear about rare cases like this, and even though they're rare, the image can stick with you. I think I'm just getting back comments here, everybody. Yeah, everybody asking, this was Frontier Airlines Flight 260 from Las Vegas, Nevada. Everybody okay? It was bound for Tampa. But everybody, we've been on Facebook Live now for about half an hour, sharing this one image with you. We got to get back to work here to make sure that we're getting more information about this story. We've been scrambling here in the newsroom to find out any additional details or hear from anybody who was on this flight, because it was a flight that was supposed to be landing in Tampa. And I'm sure that if this flight turned around this morning, went back to Las Vegas, landed sometime around 7:30 or so, I would imagine that anybody who was trying to get to Tampa and had to get on another flight, they're probably getting in soon. So I know that our news staff here, we're busy at work to see what we can find out, who we can talk to, and we'll have that for you coming up tonight on News Channel 8. We have First at 4, our 5 o'clock newscast, News Channel 8 at 6 o'clock. We'll have you covered throughout the night. But this is our Facebook Live platform called WFLA Now. I hope everybody was able to get some information. You can find more information on our website, WFLA.com. It's in the description, everybody. Everybody have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and safe travels to everybody out there. I hope that everybody, for the holidays especially, gets to where they're going safely and soundly. Take care, everybody.